Hello everyone, it's Miss Glenister
And Miss Watson.
and welcome to Virtual Gardening Club. This is coming along nicely. Miss Watson, are you ready for Virtual Gardening Club today?
No, I'm not, Miss Glenister. I'm just too excited about it finally starting to rain.
Excited about the rain, Miss Watson?
It's been really dry lately, hasn't it? And a lot of my plants have been difficult to keep hydrated. I've been having to water them once in the morning and again in the afternoon just to stop them from getting so dry. The only problem is, because I've been watering my plants so often, I'm really worried that I'm wasting water. So a little bit of rain is very welcome.
Well, you know what, Miss Watson? You are absolutely right. And funnily enough, our episode today is all about water.
Really, Miss Glenister? That's great.
Well, we all know that plants need water and sun to grow, right?
That's right, Miss Glenister. But did you know that in the warmer weather, we use a lot more water in our gardens all around the country? And that means that water supply companies have to take their water from groundwater or from streams.
Oh dear, Miss Watson. Oh, that can't be good for the animals and other living things that live in those places.
It isn't, Miss Glenister, but there are things that you can do to reduce the amount of water that you use in your garden and keep your plants happy too.
The first thing you can do is to mulch your soil. This is where you put an extra layer of compost or other organic material over the top, and it helps keep the nutrients in. The best time of year to do this is in spring, so from February to April.
Check that your soil is moist. If it's still moist, you don't need to water it, but if it's dry, it's time to water. Water at the right time of day, like the early morning or in the late afternoon. Plants such as my tomatoes and my cucumber here need more water than other plants. My sunflowers, they were going quite yellow a little while ago, and then I realised after I did some research that I was watering them too much. So I've started watering them every 2 to 3 days, and they're looking a lot happier.
Reuse old water from your house. Don't throw out that cup of water you don't want to finish. Or if your adult is throwing out water from their kettle that has been there overnight, ask them to pour it into a cup or watering can so you can use it on the garden instead.
Collect rainwater so that you can use it later in your garden. We have water butts at school, which are big tanks that collect rainwater falling off the roofs. But if you don't have a water butt at home, you can just use containers like these ones here, like an ice cream container, a small jug, or even just leave your watering can out and hope that it catches some water.
Miss Watson, you said your sunflowers were looking a bit yellow. How are they doing?
They're looking a lot better, Miss Glenister. Thank you very much. Actually, I think today might be a good day to measure our sunflowers. Sunflower is 45 centimeters tall.
My sunflowers, if we do this one's the biggest one, is 45 centimeters tall.
I wonder if the children at home have planted some sunflowers and would like to measure them today, or maybe you planted something else.
An interesting way to find out how much rain has fallen is to use a water gauge. You can make one of these at home using a plastic bottle.
Great, Miss Glenister. I just found this bottle in my recycling.
Excellent, Miss Watson. So, start by cutting the bottle just below the neck. For those of you doing it at home, please make sure that you check with a grown-up before you use any sharp objects to do this.
And what do I do with the cap, Miss Glenister?
Well, you'll have to find a different use for the bottle cap. Maybe that's something we could do in another episode.
Sounds like a plan, Miss Glenister. So what do I do next? I guess I need to tape these two pieces together, right?
You're right, you can use tape or paper clips, but first you need to use something to level out the bottom because it's not flat. To make the bottom of your bottle level, you could use gravel or even make a jelly that has crystals in it. You could pour this into the bottom of the bottle and wait for it to set. Once the bottom of your bottle is level, turn the top half of your bottle upside down inside the bottom half and secure it down with tape or paper clips. Now, it's time to make your measurements on the side of the bottle. I recommend doing this on a piece of paper so that it doesn't rub off. Using a ruler, create a scale from 0 to 20 centimetres, or more if you think it's going to rain a lot. Tape it on carefully, making sure that the 0 begins at the top of your gravel or jelly and that the paper is flat and straight. Cover all of the paper with sticky tape as you don't want the ink to run if it gets wet. After all, this is a water gauge.
Wow, Miss Glenister, how exciting! I can't wait to see how much it rains. And I guess I could use the water that's inside here to water the garden as well, couldn't I?
You sure can, Miss Watson.
Well, I guess that's all we have time for this week. But we'll see you again next week for another episode of
Virtual Gardening Club.